voters decide who they want to see on the ballot in November. What you need to know before the results roll in.
Plus, it's the first day of spring, and as flowers begin to bloom, so too does spring allergy season.
And let the madness begin. March Madness is in full swing, but could making a bracket be good in the workplace? Newswatch starts right now.
You are taking a live look at the Athens County Board of Elections office, where voters have been making their voices heard all day.
Polls close in today's primary at 7:30, so there's still plenty of time to go and cast your ballot. Thanks for joining us. I'm Haley Hollinger.
And I'm Silver Barker. There are a number of key local and federal races that will be decided tonight. Athens County voters will have the chance to decide who will be the Democratic nominee for county treasurer. They will decide between Beth Clodfelter and Taylor Sappington.
Voters will also be deciding who will be the nominees for state and federal representatives. If you have yet to vote and are unsure of where your polling place is, you can go to your local county Board of Elections website. And when you go, be sure to take proper identification. Registered voters are required to show a government-issued photo ID before voting. Another major issue on the ballot is the race for president, but with presidential nominations all but secured, the most high-profile election in today's primary is the three-way race in the Republican primary for the U.S. Senate.
And today the group made their final pitches before voters decide. John London has more on the campaign trail.
It's down to the last day, and Frank LaRose spent part of it at a gun shop in Liberty Township, where he took aim at the high-stakes Republican seat.
The mission is to save this country, and that won't happen if we don't beat Sherrod Brown in November, take control of the Senate, fire Chuck Schumer, get his butt out of there.
And we have to elect Bernie to get in there and to seal our border.
LaRose is going after Ohio's MAGA voters, but their leader has endorsed businessman Bernie Moreno.
And we are going to give this country to our kids and grandkids better than the way we got it. Thank you. God bless America.
I am a conservative who's gotten results for Ohio.
State Senator Matt Dolan has Republican establishment backing. As in the Miami University debate Channel 5 aired this month, the Republican infighting could end up benefiting Senator Brown 8 months from now.
Republicans are going to unite behind me when I'm the nominee 48 hours from now. Yeah, that's always a concern, right? And that's why, people don't like primaries. But we as conservatives believe in competition. Competition makes us stronger.
Butler County election officials met this morning to officially declare readiness. They're predicting anywhere from 15 to 18% turnout. Low, but traditional for a primary.
A lot of people we found don't really understand the primary election and could deter them coming out and having to pick a particular party ballot.
Those Republican voters who turn out tomorrow will settle the matter.
This is a really dynamic contest. This is looking like kind of a jump ball. There's a huge number undecided. The polls are all over the place.
And even with many high-profile races, mail-in voting numbers are lower than the last two non-presidential primaries. The Ohio Secretary of State's office says nearly 170,000 mail-in ballots were cast statewide. That's a significant decrease when compared to the state's primaries in 2022 and 2018, where over 260,000 Ohioans voted by mail. But as for early in-person voting, the Secretary of State's office says they have seen an increase of 100,000 votes cast compared to 2022. And once polls close, stay tuned to Newswatch's social media for the latest results across the region. We'll be providing live updates at the top of the hour starting at 9 p.m. tonight. Also head to WOUB.org for the latest results and reactions to tonight's primary. It's been a chilly day here in Athens, and joining us with more is Emily Case.
Absolutely. Emily, for people heading out there to vote or out there now, what's the weather like outside right now?
Yeah, we're currently sitting at around 50 degrees, so definitely warmer than originally predicted, which is great. And we have those sunny conditions. Obviously, this is the predicted weather for today, 40% chance of snow showers with that high of 39. We did get up to 50 degrees, so definitely on the warmer side, which is great. But we do have that overall low of 24 that will be impacting us tonight. Now, we are experiencing these cooler temperatures because of this cold front that's sitting right over Ohio and going across Michigan. That's making us feel these colder winds and cooler temperatures, as well as giving us drier air. Now, we do have a little bit of snow that might be impacting Ohio and southeastern Ohio, but since it's so warm right now, probably won't be affecting us all that much. Temperatures over the past 24 hours were on the chillier side, but we definitely heated up as that sun started to rise, and then we're going to be cooling back down into tonight. Now, because of these drier conditions, we do have a special weather statement, and that is just an increase in fire. Tonight, though, 24 for that overnight low, partly cloudy skies, and then for tomorrow, that high of 52. Back to you.
Thanks, Emily. Governor Mike DeWine has launched a new initiative to remove hazardous substances known as PFAS from firefighting foam. The foam, called AFFF, is made up of the PFAS compounds which cause long-term contamination of water, air, and soil. During an event at Wright State University's Calamityville training facility, DeWine announced details of the new aqueous film forming foam take-back program. The program operates with no costs for local fire departments, but they must register their AFFF materials to be scheduled for collection at future events. A Pickaway County man is indicted in connection to a shooting in Morgan County. A grand jury has charged 60-year-old Russell Hunter with assault. Police say last Tuesday, Hunter and 59-year-old Donnie Suthers got into a verbal argument, resulting in Suthers being shot in the neck. Hunter is currently being held on a $350 bond at the Southeastern Ohio Regional Jail.
A new report shows kids from low-income households make up a majority of suspensions and expulsions in Ohio. The report from Children's Defense Fund Ohio says these students make up more than 80% of expulsions. Report author Kim Eckrick says the disciplinary practice creates an implicit bias against Black students. She suggests solutions like better classroom management and lowering class sizes to help kids stay in school.
The American Library Association is reporting a record number of attempts to ban books again this year. This comes after a 3-year increase in the amount of book removal requests. Deborah Caldwell Stone, the director of ALA's Office for Intellectual Freedom and the Freedom to Read Foundation, said these requests have been for books with themes of LGBTQ, race, and racism. Ohio is one of the 17 states with over 100 book challenges.
Coming up, lawmakers on Capitol Hill announced they have reached a deal ahead of another government shutdown on Friday.
And new calls to change how work schedules look in the U.S.
We've been experiencing cooler temperatures these past couple of days, but will those cool temperatures continue for the rest of the week? Find out more when Newswatch returns.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
If you don't drive it, donate it and support something you use every day.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow.
Is there a secret?
Yeah, well, there's lots of secrets. I really don't share them with too many people, though, because it's fairly dangerous.
I had to ask.
Yeah.
It's no secret that Baton Rouge has tons of treasures.
That's as far back as I can get.
Baby, I knew you were worthwhile.
Thank you. Oh, don't miss Antiques Roadshow from Louisiana State University Rural Life Museum.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
There's no question that Dante intends this poem to change your life.
You discover the problem of the pilgrim is your own problem.
Look here.
For I am Beatrice.
Here, Beatrice is preparing herself to become the Beatrice of Paradiso.
He was writing for us. We are these people.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
The group behind a proposed amendment to the Ohio State Constitution to end qualified immunity is pushing back on the latest rejection of its efforts to get the measure on the ballot.
And last week, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost rejected the group's proposed ballot language for the 8th time. The Ohio Coalition to End Qualified Immunity wants voters to decide on an amendment ending the practice that protects law enforcement and other government employees from civil lawsuits. Capital University law professor Mark Brown wrote to Attorney General Dave Yost saying his rejection includes a false and defamatory statement. Yost says the group hasn't used clear enough language and repeated mistakes that got previous petitions thrown out. Yost's office says petition was properly rejected and the group can ask the Ohio Supreme Court for a review. Yost is also joining attorney generals from two other states, urging the U.S. Supreme Court to establish a legal test for presidential immunity. Alongside Ohio, Wyoming, and Alaska are arguing that such a test is necessary because future prosecutions are likely to arise. In February, the Supreme Court agreed in Trump v. United States whether and if to what extent a former president is immune from criminal prosecution for acts done in office. Yost proposes a two-factor legal test that courts would apply in cases examining questions of presidential immunity.
Congressional leaders formally announced a deal to keep the government funded through the rest of the year. House Speaker Mike Johnson says House and Senate committees have started drafting the text of the bill and says it would be released and considered as soon as it is ready. The bill would help fund the Departments of Defense, Homeland Security, Labor, Health, and Human Services, Education, State, and the legislative branch. Homeland Security has proven to be a particularly thorny issue in the funding fight amid partisan disagreements over border policy. Congress has until the end of Friday to pass the deal. It's the first official day of spring, and you may already be seeing pollen. The CDC says more than a quarter of adults in the U.S. and nearly 1 in 5 children have a seasonal allergy. If you're one of them, doctors say to get prepared for this allergy season. Mandy Gaither has more on what you can do now to protect against spring allergies.
Spring is in the air, literally.
With global warming, climate change, we are seeing these longer pollen seasons that not only last longer, but are stronger.
Dr. Purvi Parikh with the Allergy and Asthma Network says tree pollen may last through April or May, and then grass pollen will start to peak until June. Then there's dust and mold with which to contend.
What I tell all of my patients is start your medication early, right at the start of the season.
Parikh says preparing now before symptoms start can help control them. If you have asthma, she says to avoid attacks by getting on preventative or controller medicine early. For allergy sufferers, get on a regimen of nasal sprays and antihistamines, but get ones without a decongestant.
So that means without the letter D in it, because it's actually harmful to use that long term, like for allergies. But things like Zyrtec, Claritin, Allegra, those are all 24-hour antihistamines that actually work quite well.
Help avoid getting stuffy by using steam inhalation or neti pots to open up the sinuses. Keep windows closed, especially in the early morning at peak pollen time. Avoid going outdoors at peak times as well. When you come home, change your clothes, take a shower so that pollen doesn't go to bed with you, and use dust mite covers in the bedroom.
HEPA air purifiers work well for mold and animal allergies, but those air purifiers don't purify everything.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Those spring allergies, a lot of that is due to those spring-like temperatures that we've been having here recently, but it's on the cooler side today and these past couple of days due to this cold front that's sitting right above Ohio. It's giving us those cooler than average temperatures, and we do have with it some chances of snow flurries, but seeing that we're at 50 degrees right now, probably not going to be really seeing that snow right now. But because of that cold front, it is bringing with it some drier conditions. But over the past 24 hours, we were on the cooler side, and then we started to warm up as that sun rose, and then we're going to be cooling back down into tonight. We do have a special weather statement, and that is due for an increase in fire risk that's in effect until 7:15 tonight. So if you're planning on having a fire, make sure you're monitoring that the whole time, and if you see a fire, report it. And tonight, though, we have 24 for that overnight low, and those mostly cloudy skies. Make note that the sun is setting at 7:40 tonight. I know I've been enjoying these couple extra hours of sunlight during my day. Then tomorrow, those cloudy conditions will continue with that high of 52 and that low of 35. Now, this is really just due to this high pressure that's going to be affecting us through tomorrow. We do have this occluded front bringing us some cooler conditions, but less intense, followed behind it with this cold front, and then into tomorrow night, that's going to be passing through Ohio. And then into Thursday, it's going to be making its way out of our region. But following behind that, we do have this low pressure system, which is going to be bringing us a chance of rain for Friday. So do keep that in mind if you have any plans for Friday. Looking at our 7-day outlook, we do have partly sunny skies for Wednesday with that high of 55. Going to be slightly cooler on Thursday, only a high of 49. But again, 40% chance of rain Friday because of that low pressure followed behind that cold front. It's going to be giving us that chance of rain, but it's not going to be staying in our area all that long because the weekend looks wonderful. We have partly sunny skies for both Saturday and Sunday and close to mid-50s, even maybe 60 on Sunday. Then Monday, 50% chance of showers to start off your week. Back to you.
Thanks, Emily. Potentially good news for all the 9-to-5 Monday through Friday workers out there looking for a break. A bill is currently being pushed to shorten the standard U.S. work week from 40 to 32 hours. However, some critics worry a 4-day work week could hurt business. Jen Sullivan has more.
How does a 4-day work week sound? Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders wants to make that a reality, proposing a bill that would cut the work week down to 32 hours without reduced pay.
The sad reality is Americans now work more hours than the people of any other wealthy nation.
In many European countries, employees have shorter work weeks. France has a federally mandated 35-hour work week. Denmark has a 37-hour work week. Belgium has adopted a 4-day work week. And the UK recently tested the idea. 61 companies did a trial run of the 4-day work week between June and December of 2022. The director of the 4-day week campaign talked about the results last fall.
It was overwhelmingly successful.
Nearly 90% of the businesses that participated in the pilot were still operating with the 4-day work week 1 year later. 31 of those companies have made the change permanent.
When workers have that 4-day week, 32 hours, no loss of pay, they come back into the workplace working much more effectively, efficiently, they're better rested, also more creative.
The program also found revenue remained the same during the trial, and in some cases even ticked up slightly. Critics, though, worry it could hurt employers and employees in the future.
They would ship those jobs overseas, or they would automate to replace those workers for whom they have an increased expense, or they would dramatically increase prices to make this stay afloat.
Some unions support the bill, but it's unlikely to pass in the Senate. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Next, it's March and how making a bracket could affect the workplace. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube.
From their incredible power and speed to their intelligent and social nature, it's no surprise we built our world with horsepower.
When you get that trust with a horse, sky is the limit of what you can do.
But how did we shape this remarkable creature into the 350 breeds that exist today? Let's take a global tour of the most fascinating members of the Modern Horse Club.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
These icebergs are amazing.
Journey to the icy ends of the Earth,
It just looks like Mars.
where the secrets of the past
We're on a beach.
We're on a beach 3 million years ago.
hold the clues to our future.
This place is so amazing.
This is the stuff that gives us a glimpse into a past warmer world.
Humans are geology. We are impacting this planet.
Polar Extremes on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
The way humans make sense of the world is through stories.
We've got to go ahead and start training to go to Mars.
And liftoff.
We pay tribute to all who serve and who have served.
Civilization is precious. Life is precious.
Artists here are making a difference. I'm trying to seek redemption.
Fasten your seatbelts.
This is amazing.
Wow.
Did you vote? It feels like I have a home.
These are your immigrant ancestors.
This is wild.
Never anticipated this. I am forever changed.
I'm pleased to tell you you're going to be in Finding Your Roots.
Are we really this close?
I can't tell you what we found, but what we found was you.
Welcome back, Silver. It's March, and I think you know what that means.
Think I do a little bit.
Okay.
I think I do.
Have you made a bracket yet?
Yes,
Okay.
I have. Kind of.
There you
kind
go.
of. I'm watching other people make brackets and I'm taking notes because I really don't know that much about it.
Well, there you go. Well, most people are making brackets, and the NCAA college basketball tournaments are upon us, but it's not just the men's games that are going to bring in big audiences and big distractions this year. Karen Kaifa looks at how the games could actually be a good thing for the workplace this year.
The focus during March Madness is typically on the men, but the amazing athletic feats of NCAA women this season have brought a boom in audiences and enthusiasm. And while some employers might think that means double the distractions as employees focus on brackets and games during the day, in an era of hybrid and remote work, experts say it might not be a bad thing.
Get ready for a lot of college hoops.
The game has gotten so good. The players have gotten so good. The storylines have gotten so good. The coaches are amazing.
Meredith Geisler, visiting assistant professor of sport management at the George Washington University School of Business, is talking about NCAA women's basketball. She says it's all driving more interest than ever in the women's road to the Final Four.
It's all converged to make it so that women's college basketball and ultimately probably the WNBA as well has really emerged as a product that people want to see.
That means the potential for even more exciting games that can distract workers. Every March, outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas crunches the numbers on workplace productivity lost to games and brackets. Their 2024 estimate, $9.6 billion.
Whether they're researching and filling out brackets, they're organizing pools in their office, or they're actually live streaming those games during the workday, people are going to be doing a lot of not work over the next few weeks.
But Andy Challenger says the tournaments could also reap benefits for employers who have struggled with team building in an era of hybrid and remote work.
There's all sorts of ways you can get people engaged And it's a really fun and easy way to engender a lot of camaraderie and morale.
Challenger says that companies can lean into those brackets, maybe with some prizes and some friendly competition, maybe designate one game that everyone watches live in the office at the same time, and encourage the wearing of team gear. It could potentially open up conversations and collaboration. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Still ahead, there is no place like home for two famous shoes. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Sometimes we have to look that monster right in the face. Show we're not afraid of it anymore.
Love is the best thing we have. It's the only thing we have.
No more secrets. I just want to be right here in this moment with you.
I trust nothing untoward has occurred.
Bright things ahead, darling. Brightness and joy.
Those that underestimate us should do so at their own peril.
And if they do, so bloody what?
Open your eyes.
Action!
Best episode ever.
Breaking tonight, people shot and 8 killed.
At massage parlors.
That was my mother.
In Fulton County, all the victims are Asian American women.
What it is a hate crime.
During a time where Asian Americans were being targeted.
Maybe that's a question you should ask China.
It was an example of what racism towards Asians could lead to.
Our goal is to make sure people don't think that our community is invisible anymore.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
I take a huge sense of pride in the fact that what I do feeds a hungry nation. It takes a lot of faith. I'm an independent pig farmer. 94% of us are gone. Puts the fight right in you.
The dairy world is a volatile one. Addiction is something I battle with big time, especially like when finances got rough.
If we don't carry on their legacy, then what are we fighting for?
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
Well, finally tonight, there's no place like home for these iconic ruby red slippers, which were just returned after being stolen from a museum almost 20 years ago. The shoes were worn by Julie Garland in The Wizard of Oz and were recovered by the FBI in 2018. Now, the slippers are being prepped for a world tour. They'll be stopping in several major cities before Heritage Auction puts them on sale in December. Officials at the Julie Garland Museum say they are working diligently to purchase and preserve the shoes. Now let's toss it over to Emily for one more look at the weather.
Yes, well, predicted weather for today was a high of 39, but we're currently sitting at around 50 degrees, so we definitely surpassed that, and we're not going to be experiencing any of those snow showers. We do have that temperature low of 24, which we will be feeling tonight. Now, this cooler weather that we saw this morning and that we are feeling earlier this week is due to this cold front that's sitting right above Ohio, and it's bringing down that cooler air from the north, as well as bringing about drier conditions. Now, over the temperatures over the past 24 hours, on the cooler side this morning, and then as the sun rose, we definitely started to heat up, and we're sitting mild temperatures at 50 right now, but we're going to cool down as we go through tonight. Now, because of that cold air coming down, it's also bringing with it drier conditions. So we have that fire risk in effect till 7:15 tonight. 24 for that overnight low, and then into tomorrow, 52 degrees, and then the rest of the week on the mild side with that chance of rain on Friday. Back to you guys.
Thanks, and that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. From Emily Case, I'm Haley Hollinger.
And I'm Silver Barker. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.